Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Relationship Thursday.
I am good. It is Relationship Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been moving and shaking and doing a lot of different things. So we've been out and about. It's glad. I'm
You're
glad.
glad. Yeah.
I am glad to be in the house. I'm glad to be here. What's happening? What's going on? Whether you are watching this in the Zoom room or on Instagram or on
Yeah, you too.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, y'all. We getting into it today. What's happening, IG? We are talking today. What's up, Lamely? About the blame game. Wow, bow, bow, bow. Dum, dum,
Mm-hmm.
dum, dum.
The
We're going
blame
to talk
game.
about the blame game. Stop the blame game out here in these relationship streets. That's what we're talking about today. But for those who may be new to us, who don't know us, or particularly if you're online, you're like, I be seeing stuff on this account. Who is these people behind this Black Love and Marriage? This right here is my dapper. He ain't showing himself.
Oh my bad.
But this is my dapper, debonair, amazing baby daddy, husband, partner in crime,
Baby daddy.
and all kinds of things. Ayize.
And this right here is my boo thing, my baby's mama, my wife, the love of my life, my queen, my everything, my all that and then some. I love you, baby.
Oh,
That's my
thank you,
wife,
babe.
Iana, y'all.
Thank you, babe. I need something to drink. So we are coaches. We are therapists, and we have a lot of experience, lived experience. We've been together for a long minute. We got
Mm-hmm.
5 kids, and we coach and counsel couples, and have been doing that for years with over 30 years of combined experience. And tonight we are talking about the blame game. The
Mm-hmm.
blame game. Too many people blame it. I don't understand why this is up on the screen. Like, why do you do this? My husband
Why are
just
you worried
puts
about what
he
I'm
puts
doing?
things up
Like,
on the screen that block. We can't
but it's
see nothing.
but you're not seeing the people. You're just seeing yourself right now.
I'm seeing. I can't see you. That was covering you.
So you really trying to see me?
Yeah.
I like to spin.
When I'm on what? No, when I'm on, I want to see the screen.
Okay.
All right, y'all. We talk about blaming. It's a whole lot of blaming that goes on in relationships. And a lot of times it's hard for us to see that because our Blamely members know we talk a lot about paying attention to not just what your intention is, but paying attention to your impact. People
Mm-hmm.
who are stuck in a blame cycle, y'all got a situation, y'all got stuff that y'all can't see eye to eye on, things is going down the wrong way, ain't never seemed like it's going the right way. If you in a blame game, then you are all focused on your intention. You are not thinking about your partner, what it feels like to be them, what it feels like to be a partner of yours, how it feels to talk to you in the relationship, to dialogue with you, how it feels to them when you shut down or dismiss or don't pay attention, how it feels when you overwhelm the relationship with your conversation and with your insight and all the details. Right? You're just focused on self, and so the first thing I just want to introduce into the atmosphere tonight as we talk about getting rid of the blame game and relationships is, what does it feel like to be in relationship with you?
Mm.
Have you ever asked yourself, what is it like to be wrapped up with 25 questions in a matter of 30 seconds? What is it like to just feel like you're being ignored? Like, whatever you do that you don't pay attention to, you don't pay attention to your impact. What is it like to be in relationship with you? And I think when we can start to get beyond ourselves, the point I'm making is expand our thinking beyond what our opinion is about a situation, or expand beyond how hurt we are, how hurt
Mm-hmm.
our feelings are. And I'm saying that I'm talking to myself, because if my feelings get hurt, I make a whole commitment in my head. I will never ever be vulnerable with him ever again in
And you
my
be lying.
in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I am all the way shut down. I am not opening up. I be saying all that to myself. I be saying that. So I'm just letting y'all know, the feelings is real. So I'm not saying it ain't real, but we got to get beyond that. That's how I feel on day one. The next day I'll be like, let me go ahead and talk to my boo, even though I still can't stand him. You know what I mean? So we gotta be able to get beyond ourselves, and until we're able to do that, and that's a practice. It takes practice. We're gonna have a hard time staying out of the blame game. You will never get to solution. You will never get to resolution. You will never ever get to what we say is more important than resolving the issue, which is understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to agree on everything. You just need to have some understanding. You'll never get there if you are always looking at what they doing wrong or what they did like this and how you feel. You're always blaming. You got to get out of that.
And I really think that we have to be honest with ourselves. So where does this whole blame game stem from? Where does it start? Who ends it? How does it finish? And the reality is that when we look at our own personal relationship, my wife and I, what I can say for a fact is that a lot of times we even introduce blaming into the equation because we're feeling hurt. We're feeling some sort of way. We're feeling impacted based off of what's been done. And so we're trying to protect ourselves and preserve our ego, preserve some sense of like, I'm all good. And as a result, what we end up doing is we end up displacing some of the things that we're feeling onto our partner. So we blame as a defense mechanism to try to get some of that stuff up off of us, which then leads us to enter into a cycle where the other person feels like you're attacking me. And so they deflect and they blame you back. But there's ways to disrupt this, y'all. There's ways to disrupt it. And what it requires is a certain level of emotional maturity where you're able to recognize that I ain't got to go back and forth with you. I don't have to go tit for tat with you. I don't have to hear what it is that you're saying and then think that it's a personal affront or you're trying to attack me or come for me, which then puts me in a position where I put my guards up and then I'm attacking you back. I don't have to do that. There's a different approach that you can take in order to disrupt this blame game cycle that might be present. And so what we want to share with y'all today is, ways that you can disrupt this, ways that you can disrupt it. And so one important piece, y'all, in order for you to even begin to get out of the whole blame game space, it's important that you take some level of personal accountability for the space that you're in. A lot of people don't necessarily want to hear that because a lot of times people are seeing their partner as being a reason why they're in the space. But trust and believe, like you're a co-contributor to creating the environment that you're in. Whether you're passively participating or actively creating a hot mess, you're involved. And so again, if you take personal responsibility and you be accountable for your role, the part that you played in the ish that you're experiencing, that's one way you can at least start from looking outward and then start looking inward. So we got to disrupt that, y'all. The idea that it's all our partner's fault is problematic in and of itself. And so first look at self and see like, what could I be doing differently? How am I showing up? How have I impacted? What have I contributed to the chaos that I'm currently experiencing? And if there's nothing there, then you're not being honest with yourself.
Yeah, I will say it's always something there.
You're not being honest with yourself. And so again, what we say is that start with self. Personal accountability is where you should be beginning if you want to disrupt this whole blame game cycle.
Yeah. So can I just say something about negativity? Somebody type negativity in the chat. Negativity. If some of y'all on here, I'm coming all down your street tonight. And I want to say something about this because blaming and feeling as though your partner is the bad guy, right? It's not always as obvious as a situation happened. This is what you didn't do. You were supposed to do it. You got us in this situation, something real easy like that, right? It's not always as simple as that. Sometimes some of us have a real spirit of negativity. If you know it's you, just raise your hand. You ain't even got to show us. Raise your hand in your own house. There's a real spirit of negativity, a real spirit of funkiness, of just kind of negative energy. And so whatever is happening in your day-to-day life, in your relationship, you are messaging oftentimes to your partner because of some things that are not working well, or maybe y'all are, not on the same page with the finances. A lot of times people are not on the same page about feeling wanted, feeling like you're getting your needs met, feeling like you pursue me, whatever it is, and you're just negative. That's also blaming. It's like, for example, how many brothers have come and told us, man, I'm tired of pursuing my woman all the time. I got to pursue her when it comes to sex all the time. I don't know if she even know how to do it. Can she come, push up on me every now and then? And then I have talked to many brothers who say, they get into a place where they just start to sulk and they got negative energy. They ain't really saying nothing. Their wife may say, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Just negative. That is bringing a blaming energy. Somebody knows that something's off, and there's an energy you're pushing out into the relationship that you are the cause of a problem. And so negativity is something we have to pay attention to. Sometimes it's a sister who has had lots of disappointments in the relationship, and them things are stacked up. That's called negative sentiment override, where the negative sentiments that you have in your relationship based on the stuff that you've experienced, they're now overriding the reality of your life today. Your partner was cool, y'all was good, but you are carrying that negative energy, and it overrides what's really happening. Or, you can't see clearly, and you can't feel clearly what your partner is trying to give you because you're still stuck in negativity. So negativity is a fancy way to continue to blame. And some of us just feel if that's you, there's no judgment, y'all, but we feel a real need to blame somebody. We want somebody to be responsible. I think this is like maybe a human thing, because it's like if we do this in a lot of ways. If we didn't get the job and we feel like it was unfair, if this didn't happen, or our parent didn't do this, some of us, a lot of us, our parents didn't show up. We still blaming our parents. My mother didn't. My mother didn't either. His mother didn't. This is life, and some of us are still stuck there. And those of us who get stuck like that, we do that in our relationships. And what we are basically signaling and saying to the world is, I am a victim. I can acknowledge a thing, but I'm also going to continue to hold that thing up to the light and hold it responsible for all of my situation. We can all experience some things in our relationships, whether it be parents or our spouses or boyfriend or girlfriend, right, that have just gone off. But it's a whole nother level of maturity. It's a whole nother level of get down if you are actually going to acknowledge it, be able to talk about the hurt and all of that, and then let it go. Let it go. We said we were talking about, y'all see how we talking, I'll be amplifying. I'm about to be done with my point. We said we were going to give you five things, strategies to stop the blame game. So the first one is just to let that shit go. Let it go. Oh, I know y'all, some of y'all are real irritated with that right now. You're like, oh, that's easier said than done. But the same way some of y'all have been some places, they tell you, forgiveness is just a decision. You ain't gonna feel like you want to forgive. You ain't gonna get an emotional conviction that all of a sudden I just forgive and my heart is just forgiven ever since that day. You have to decide every single day to forgive. You have to make a decision every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. So the same thing goes for letting it go, because our brains will still take us back to bringing stuff up and getting in a funky space. Our partner like, damn, what happened? What's wrong with them? You know what I'm saying? Our brains will do that. But you have to hold yourself accountable for letting it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Make a decision. If you got to make a decision 10 times a day for a while, make a decision over and over again to let it go. Yes, Kevin, practice letting go. It is a practice.
Yeah, and I just want to add, so number 2, y'all, would be take back your power.
That's good.
Take back your power. And I'm lifting this up because one of the things that I see is, again, when you're blaming somebody else, you're making somebody else responsible for your pain. And so if you shift in terms of the way that you're thinking about things, the way that you're perceiving and seeing things, and you see yourself as being in a position of power, what that does is it gives you the ability to actually shift, make a change, and then impact the outcome. So sometimes we feel like we're at a deficit, we're at fault, we're at, somebody else's, under somebody else's control. And again, when you take the position that, no, I do have the ability to shift the way that I'm showing up. I do have the ability to impact the outcome. What ends up happening is that you take back your power, and as a result, you end up creating something that you want to experience versus what you don't. And so stop giving them your power. Stop giving him all of your power. Stop giving her all of your power. Realize that when you're blaming them, you're making them responsible for your pain. And what I want you to do is to stand in the promise of the possibility of you actually being in a better space. And in order for you to do that, you got to wrestle back your power, bro. Wrestle back your power, sis. And recognize that you got the ability to create something different, create something new, and experience something more better. But it's not going to happen if you keep on blaming. Because again, if you give them the power, then they're going to be the ones that are responsible for bringing you your peace. But if you wrestle back the power, then you equip yourself and empower yourself to actually create your peace.
That's it. That's harder to do. It's more fun, and it's easier to put everything on your partner. They messed up. Now they need to clean it all the way up until you feel better. They messed up. That's true. They do need to do some cleaning up, but they can't make you feel better. They can do some things to aid you in your process, but as my husband said, you got to take your power back and you got to be responsible. And so when we talk about this blame game, there is something that is so easy that many of us just do not do. We just, I don't know why we don't do it, but we just I guess because we don't want to hear it. You need to ask for feedback. Bow, 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 bow. Ask for feedback from your partner. You know, I always tell people when you're introducing something new into your relationship, you know, if you just do that off the cuff, they're like, what are you talking about? You at work? Why are you asking me for feedback? Why are you using that word? Right. But you need to bring it up outside of the time where there's a thing. Okay. And say like, oh, I was looking at this IG or whatever, Relationship Thursday with the mods. And they said that, you know, I need to ask for feedback. And so why is asking for feedback important to shift you from the blame game? It keeps you from doing something that we talk a lot about in our community and in the work that we do. It keeps you from assigning meaning. Assigning meaning. When we assign meaning to something that we think our partner did or didn't do, or they messed up or didn't come through or disappointed us, and now we have a whole narrative in our mind about you don't care. They ain't never really cared about me. They don't really love me. You can't love me and do that, you know, or whatever it is. They're really selfish. Whatever it is, we have a whole narrative. They said this 2 years ago, and I know they still think that about me. When we ask for feedback, we disrupt our tendency to continue to push a narrative that then makes us blame them more, and they are none the wiser. Have you ever come in the house or gone around your partner, or maybe your partner is the one that's come around you, and they got some real, not even negative energy, some nasty ass energy. Like they are mad at you, like, what is going on? I saw somebody make a comment, I don't know what it was on. It was something earlier or some other live we did. They said, my partner gets into these spaces where they are in a bad, funky ass mood. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what it is. And I think that they want me to come like ask them or come get them out of it. And I feel some type of way because I'm like, what's going on? Meanwhile, that person has not talked to you in the last hour, has not said anything to you. They have created a whole situation in their mind. And all they have to do to stop creating more of a block and a hindrance in between the two of you is ask for feedback. Meaning, hey, this is what happened the other day. This is what's on my mind. You said this and then I did this, whatever the situation is. And this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling right now. I could be off. Can you let me know? Ask for feedback. Tell me, is this what you saw? Is this what you experienced? Am I getting that right? Ask. Why don't we stay quiet, y'all? Why don't we stay quiet? We got a whole little thing going on in our heads. How many times do I have conversations with people and they've got quite a detailed story? And I say, oh, wow. So what happened when you asked your husband that? Or what did she say when you told it? Oh, I ain't say nothing. All in our own world, creating more energy, making ourselves more angry, and continuing to create something that oftentimes is just not true. It's not fully true, at least. And then we are blaming them more. And we have this whole cycle going on our own. We got to stop the blame game. So ask for feedback. Say, hey, like, this is what I saw. This is what I experienced. This is what I'm dealing with. Like, get clarity. Get clarity and ask for feedback, ask for questions, and ask how they are experiencing you. Because that's the only way that you're going to get out of making assumptions. We don't want to make assumptions and assign meaning to stuff. We want to know what it really was.
Yeah.
And then guess what? You can't be like me. And when they tell you what it really is, when my husband does that, and I'm like, no, it ain't. That's not true. I know it's more to it than that. No, you can't do that.
No, I don't do that, Sean.
You got to actually receive what they said, take it at face value, and listen to what it is your partner is saying. So that's number three. Number three. If you're just joining us tonight, we are talking about some ways, 5 things in particular that you can do to stop the blame game. The blame cycle is non-productive. It does not help. It takes you nowhere. There is a difference between responsibility, accountability, and blame. Blame doesn't help anybody. Nobody. It doesn't help. Blame doesn't help somebody to be more accountable. It doesn't help them to be more responsible. What your job is in a situation where you feel disappointed, betrayed, uncertain, unsure, hot and mad, your responsibility is to say, what is it that I need? And how do I need to take care of myself? And what do I need to ask for? And what expectations do I need to share? And what do I need to be sensitive about in terms of how I approach that? All of that is about you. Blaming is about the other person and getting something off of you. But instead of doing all the stuff I just said, people who have not practiced being in a relationship blame. And that's what we want to shift you from, because it does not help anybody, anywhere, at any time, to grow a connected, loving, healthy, successful relationship.
Do me a favor, y'all, and drop in the comments, drop a 1 if you've ever felt blamed in your relationship. I want to make sure we're talking to the right people. If you've ever felt blamed in your relationship, type a 1 in the comments. And if you've ever blamed your partner, type a 2 in the comments, y'all. Let me know in the chat whether or not you felt blamed and whether or not you blamed your partner. I see the Blamley is representing and dropping 1s and 2s. On IG, what y'all say? I see the 1s coming through as well too. So, so I asked that question because that's going to take me to point number 4. Point number 4 is, and again, people are dropping 1s and 2s, but point number 4 is this: join them, don't judge them. Join them, don't judge them. And so I'm lifting this up. This is a way to disrupt the whole blame game cycle and to prevent it from escalating and becoming even something worse. If you join them, meaning if you put yourself in their shoes, if you attempt to empathize, if you ask questions like my wife said, seeking understanding over agreement, what ends up happening is that you start to expand your ability to be compassionate for whatever their walk is, the decisions that they've made, the missteps and mistakes that they've done. And as a result, you can possibly increase connectivity in a relationship. Far too often what's happening is that we're judging our partner, y'all. We're coming down on them with the hammer. And again, there are some situations where they be moving ass backwards and they do stuff that disrupts the whole family unit and they break your heart and they step on it and they just, everything just feels like it's falling apart. You just dismantled in your marriage. And but even in those instances, he or she still has a story.
That's good.
They still have a story.
Yeah.
They still have a perspective. They may be moving through and in their hurt. And as a result, they're hurting you. And so it doesn't mean that you don't get to be impacted and you don't feel the pain, that you don't feel hurt, you don't feel angry, you don't feel like you want to go on a mofo. Yeah, you can feel all of that. But what I want to lift up is that if you join them, and again, it takes a lot of emotional regulation, emotional discipline, because sometimes you just want to cuss a mofo out. But if you exercise those things, then what happens is that you're looking to connect in and tap in with their heart. And so when you attempt to connect in with their heart, it's not about you blaming and trying to hurt them. You're seeking to understand why they did what it is that they did. We work with so many people, y'all, that have struggled to overcome infidelity, betrayal, and other forms as well. And as a result, what ends up happening is like the automatic inclination is to go on the person, to because that thing has been described as being akin to death.
Yeah.
Everything changes. And so the anger, the ire, like all of that, you're justified in experiencing and feeling those feelings. They're real. He or she too has a story. He or she too may be walking with and holding on to pain. He or she too may be trying to negotiate and navigate childhood trauma. And so their bruises, their scars, their pain, their hurt is now spilling over into the relationship. And so after you get real, hectic and you wild out and you express all of the vitriol and you cuss them out and you do all of that type of stuff, there is a place that you can enter into where you start to see them for them. And you get beyond the hurt and you start to attempt to tap into and understand what's going on in their heart.
Yeah.
That's when the connection occurs, y'all. So again, I get the anger. And at the same time, too, I want you to get that you don't have to constantly operate from a place of judgment. You can make a decision consciously to join them and attempt to connect in with them.
But let me tell y'all, first of all, that was very good. Did he not break that down? I hope y'all got that to join them, right? And to really see them for the fullness of who they are. That's going to be really difficult if you don't do this one right here. I don't know what number we on, but I got a couple more.
Okay.
Get yourself together. Get yourself together. Did anybody have a parent or somebody told you to go over there and get yourself together? And some of y'all, a whole lot of y'all, and I'm talking to myself too, we have to recognize the role of emotional triggers. We have to recognize when we are being triggered and things are coming up for us and we giving a whole lot of blame and a whole lot of extra, and you really need to go on over there and get yourself together. You have to recognize when I am responding to something I saw earlier or something that reminded me of something from last year, whatever. And for real, like if I had a way to be able to let that thing pass, we wouldn't even be in this place right now. We wouldn't even be not talking right now. Go get yourself together. Your partner cannot do that for you. When that happens, the one thing that worked for me, everything is not the same for everybody. So everything won't work the same for everyone. But one of the things that has been helpful for me is to learn to be quiet. Because I am a talker. And if I open up my mouth and I get to going, it's not going to be good. It's going to feel good to me. And I'm going to get it out. But at the end, I'm going to be sitting there like, damn, like when we going to talk again? Because I don't like when we not talking. I don't like when we not talking and when I can't come over to my boo and I'm like over here, he over there, right? It don't serve me. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out what you have to do, and you have to recognize your triggers and have a way. This is what we do in our community to ground yourself, to connect in with what you need to connect in with so that you can get even, because a lot of times we are not able to shift from who's right to what's right because we are stuck in our triggers and in this blaming cycle. But what we want to do is we want to shift from who's right, you, to what's right. What's right? What is needed for the relationship?
That's good.
It's so easy to keep talking about but I remember the time, and I have been there. Well, I remember the last conversation you said, I want to know, you specifically said, I love to say that, you specifically said, because I want you to know that's what you did, because I'm going to blame your ass. That's what we're doing. But what's right? We only had to bring that forward. How much emotional maturity does it take for us to say, I was thinking about this situation, and I was thinking about where we are. And I was thinking about, just kind of what we've been dealing with. And I think that one of the things that would be helpful for us is you're not talking about them. You're not talking about who said what. You're talking about what's right for our situation, for our relationship. That don't mean they're going to pat you on the back and be like, oh, that's great. But that's where you're trying to get to. And the last piece I want to say, and then, add on anything you want to, babe, and we're going to be complete for this evening, is that I'm an accountability person. Okay, people come and work with us all the time because we're not just here to talk about how much we understand. We're here to talk about where you trying to go, though. What you trying to do? But you said this is what you was trying to do. So we're going to have to give you some accountability at the same time. Accountability is so important. So I don't want to minimize that in what I'm about to tell you. But for you, as you are dealing with your partner, and if you find yourself in a blame cycle, you must pair accountability with empathy. This goes along with what my husband was saying. You must have empathy come in there. If you just gonna be the police, then he could just go outside. If you just gonna be his mama, then he can just go on over to his mama house, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be empathy. There has to be a friendship that gets nurtured in the middle of that mess. You cannot just be, if you're just gonna criticize her all the time, if you're just gonna do that, then you know what I mean? Like, you ain't no different than her boss at work. Empathy. You must pair accountability with empathy. And one of the things that we do, especially when our partner is not owning their shizzle, they ain't owning their shit, right? When they're not on it, then we go in. But they're going to be more able to own something if you're able to also show understanding. And I am not saying that that's always possible, because based on whatever you're dealing with, sometimes it's not possible, nor is it even realistic for you to be showing up like that. And matter of fact, depending on what the situation is, you don't need to be thinking about empathy. You just need to be figuring out how to take care of yourself. Okay, so I want to be clear about that. But if you are working through some things and you all are committed to this process of being in a relationship, at some point, you're going to have to show some empathy. And remember that anytime we want to blame, anytime that we're in a place where we're just you, it is a signal for growth. It's just a signal that we need to grow in this area. It is something that I think all of us have an inclination to want to do. We don't mean to do it, but we do it. But it's a signal that we need to have a different kind of conversation and shift from who's right to what's right and what do we need right now, and be in a collaborative conversation about this thing. And yes, come on back to it again and again. Yes, all the sisters out there like, so how many times I gotta bring up this conversation? And if I never bring it up again, he ain't gonna never say nothing about it again. I know. Do you want to be right? Do you want to have it all work out the way you want it to, exactly the way you need it to? Or do you want to be in a relationship? Sometimes you're just gonna have to do that for a while.
When you mentioned the whole piece around pairing accountability with empathy, what that made me think about was the fact that when you pair accountability with empathy, it doesn't feel like you're testing me. And so accountability absent of empathy, it feels like I'm being tested.
To the person to your partner who's getting that energy from you.
Yeah, and so a lot of times people will talk about, I'm willing to be accountable in a relationship, and I'm also willing to hold my partner accountable. But what that means, or how that's interpreted and received, is that you're actually just trying to be the watchdog. And you're trying to test me, and you're actually waiting for me to make a mistake. But when there's empathy that's present, then what it feels like is that you're being supportive and you're being a cheerleader and you're encouraging me. And that's what's actually needed. And so make sure you're definitely pairing the accountability with the empathy.
That's good. All right, y'all. Let me just say this before we get ready to close tonight. I got one more, but I want you to go to loveonher.com. This is for all the women who need to go get yourself together. All the women who need to go get yourself together. I have something coming up in September. It is 21 days of growth and release and getting centered, because relationship work is personal work. So this is for women only. Loveonher.com. We're coming together for 21 days, and we are reading sisters coming together so that we can attract the right partner, be better in our marriages and our relationships, get on alignment or in alignment with our purpose and our destiny, whatever it is that you need to overcome. It is the Art of Overcoming experience. And you can go to loveonher.com so you can learn how to love on yourself more, because sometimes we are looking for things from others, be it husband, be it girlfriends, be it mama. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is it in the bio?
No, it's not.
Okay, we're gonna put it in the bio IG, but it's love, LOVE on ONHER.com. I'll put it in our bio. Because you can't click on it when I put it in here. But we're looking for things from people that they'll never be able to fill it up for us. Our partner will never be able to fill it up, and we don't even realize that we want them to fill up a hole that's our responsibility to fill up. And we don't even know what that looks like. So we're going to come together for 21 days straight, 8 p.m. Eastern every day. And we're going to be doing some reading. We're going to be doing some sharing. And it's going to be good. We're going to grow. And we keep it real. There ain't nobody trying to be perfect. We're talking about some of our raggedy ass situations and some of our wonderful growth and beautiful celebrations. Because we all got them all. We great over here, but over here I'm having a hard time. And that's okay. That's okay. So loveonher.com, come join me September 9th it starts. And there are limited spaces, but you can go to loveonher.com to sign up.
I just want to say this to the women who are in the room listening. So for those who don't know, on IG, my wife and I were trained therapists. We work with couples and individuals all of the time. And one of the reasons why we lift up accountability when it comes to this whole blame game piece is because what I've seen is that a lot of times women have complaints about what their man is not doing, how their man is not showing up. And a lot of times what we're doing within the course of these sessions that we do is we'll ask questions. And sometimes women go mute when it comes to their responsibility and how they're showing up in the relationship. And so you got all of these words, all of these complaints, all of this energy around what he is or is not doing. But when it comes to what you are not doing, what you are doing is becoming silent. And so I'm lifting this up, y'all.
Wait a minute, what you just say? What you are doing
is you're silent. You're silent on the things that you need to be doing.
Oh, that you need to work on.
Yeah, that you need to work on.
Oh.
And so I'm saying this out of love, but I'm saying this on purpose because when it comes to you actually growing, as much as you focus on him and holding him accountable, how much are you doing that for yourself? And so to go through a 21-day process.
Good Lord, why you an elbow?
You don't want to touch me?
That's how you like over here bowing me and stuff like.
I'm not bowing you, baby. No, I'm not. I'm not bowing you. But in order for you to go through a process where it's not just coming together, woo-sign, reading, and doing me and you and doing all of that. For there to actually be accountability at play, you're gonna be able to look at yourself. So I'm saying this because I think that we as people have a hard time looking at ourselves and doing the work, and then actually being accountable for the things that we say that we want to do. It's easier, as we've said, it's easier for us to point the finger and say, you're not doing this. But real talk, ladies, how much are you actually doing? How much are you doing? I mean, I'm talking to men on a regular basis, and I know for a fact that women aren't initiating intimacy in the way in which he would like for you to do it. I know you're not doing that. I know for a fact that a number of women are not communicating and conversing in a way in which he would like for you to do it. I know for a fact that women aren't standing up and giving the applause in ways in which he would like for you to do it. I know for a fact that women aren't standing in their truth and pursuing their destiny in the way that you say you want to do it.
Wow.
And so you're blaming him, but what about looking at you? And so over this 21-day period, this is a time where you can actually take intentional time and apply intentional effort to do your goddamn work.
No blame.
No blame. It's an opportunity.
Just responsibility.
An opportunity for you to elevate. And so again,
I know, she said, geez.
No, I just got to make it plain, y'all. I mean, I got to make it plain because we hear it. We see it, and we hear it from the men. We hear it from y'all. We hear it from y'all talking about you want more. But then when it comes to actually doing it, you don't do
it. Down.
Yeah, Michael, do the work.
Michael, we was just in Atlanta. Looking around in Smyrna. Looking for houses and neighborhoods. I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with the live stream. I just want you to know we coming. We coming. All right, everybody. I appreciate everybody who showed up tonight. This has been another Relationship Thursday. You can catch past episodes of Relationship Thursday on our YouTube channel. That is in our bio, as well as episodes of our podcast, The Relationship Cheat Code. That is also in our bio on Instagram. Go to loveonher.com so you can join me. We're going to come together and have a good time 21 days straight for women only. Women only.
Thank you,
everybody. Be easy, be easy. She said no lies detected. All right now. Yes, and we're back home. Yes, we're back home. I see a message here in California. It would feel weird to say we back home in California. Like, no, we just went home to the DMV. We from the DMV. We're from PG County. Did y'all know the girl on CNN? Y'all been watching? I got to get out here and watch this. What is it? What's been on every night?
The DNC.
The Democratic National Convention. But you know y'all be watching that? The black girl on there, I remember her name.
Abby Phillip.
She is from PG County. Did anybody care? You're like, what is PG County? Okay, you said give a heads up when you come to Atlanta. I sure will. We can't wait. That's good.
Been married 22 years.
Yes, we have been married 22 years, 5 children, and together for...
Don't look at me.
28.
No, it's 29.
It's 28 now.
No, it's not.
Oh, we've been together 29, but married 22. All right, everybody. Peace, peace. We'll see you on the next Relationship Thursday. Are you watching now? I'm going to go watch. And we'll see you next Relationship Cheat Code.
Go to loveonher.com.
Go to loveonher.com. Hope this has been of help to you. Stop blaming. Take responsibility. Shift to what's right, not who's right. Peace, y'all. Bye. Bye, y'all.